Today I'll be discussing on how to get pregnant naturally. So many of I see many patients coming with the problem that they'll be anxious, recently married, whether they'll conceive naturally or not. So here are a few tips which is going to help them to know the exact date of ovulation or the day when the egg is getting released, and then they can plan for pregnancy. So in one of my videos, I've already told how the ovulation happens. It takes about 14 to 15 days for a good mature egg to grow in each woman. So considering day 1 of the cycle, it takes about 14 to 15 days. Once the egg is grown and reaches the size of maturity, it will break open, ruptures from the ovary, comes, and then that egg which comes out will be picked by the tube and it will sit inside the tube. So like that, the egg is alive for about 12 to 24 hours after ovulation. So this period is very crucial. So only when the couple has contact around this time, the chance of ovulation, the chance of pregnancy is higher, and more so when the earlier the better. That is, the egg is best fertilizable in the first 12 hours after release. So how do we track it? How do we know it naturally whether a woman is ovulating and when is her ovulation date? One, by maintaining a good menstrual calendar. So one, if the cycle of a particular woman is regular and she maintains a calendar properly, regularly, and the date has been noted, she needs to see what is the duration of a cycle exactly, a 30-day cycle or a 32-day cycle or a 28-day cycle. So one should minus last 14 days of the cycle. So that will give her an average idea what should be the possible date of ovulation. So should plan for having contact around those days more frequently, at least alternate days on those days. And the next thing is is it necessary to keep contact daily? Is it important that we have to keep contact regularly for about 15 days? Not necessarily, because once they keep contact, the sperms gets deposited on the cervical crypts. So there are places called the structure called cervical crypts on the cervix, that is the mouth of the uterus, which acts as a reservoir for sperms. It's only few sperms which will enter into the uterine cavity, and they are alive at that place for about 72 hours. So once they've kept contact and the woman ovulates anytime after that, the sperms are available for fertilization. So it doesn't mean that they have to keep contact regular. Alternate days of contact during the time of ovulation will help in assisting conceiving naturally. And second thing is one can track various other things such as maintaining a basal body temperature. But this again tells us only after the follicle rupture has happened. So there will be a slight rise in the body temperature, especially the early morning temperatures, by about 0.5 degrees following ovulation. This is because once the egg is released, a hormone called progesterone gets released into the body, and that is one which is responsible for rising the progesterone levels. So this is one of the method where they need to track their temperature daily and see around what date that rise in temperature is noted, and that date is usually seen one day after the ovulation. And next thing is by monitoring the LH kits. There are like how we get the urine pregnancy kits. Similarly, we get a kit called ovulation kits, or it is also called as LH kits, which is available in the market, where one has to check the presence of LH in the urine, that is the hormone called luteinizing hormone. So what happens is, physiologically, once the egg is mature, there is sudden rise in the hormone LH within the body. So once the LH rise starts, it takes 36 hours for the egg to get released from the beginning of the LH rise. And it takes about 12 hours once it reaches a peak value, and then it comes down. Once it reaches the peak value, it takes about 12 hours, 10 to 12 hours from the peak value for the egg to a woman to undergo ovulation. So this peak LH is detected in the woman's urine using this LH strips or LH kit, or it is also called as ovulation kit. So just like urine pregnancy test, the early morning urine sample is taken and then it is placed onto the strip. And if we see 2 lines, that means the LH surge has happened. So she is expected to ovulate around 10 to 12 hours once the LH kit comes positive. And to get maximum results out of this, one should plan this to around the start. If it's a 28-day cycle, better to start checking for LH surge from day 11 or day 12 of the cycle itself. For the next 3 to 4 days, once or twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening, so that the LH surge will not be missed out. So by doing this, one can pretty accurately identify the date of ovulation and can plan their contact around those days so that they can conceive naturally. And one more technique is looking at the cervical mucus texture. So once before ovulation, just before ovulation, the cervical mucus consistency gets very watery because of the increased estrogen levels. But whereas following ovulation, once the woman ovulates, because of the hormone progesterone, it becomes more thicker in consistency. This also confirms that the woman has ovulated. But again, the major problem with this is that the confirmatory thickening of the mucus is seen only after ovulation. So the exact date of ovulation, if you have to do it naturally, one, by doing a proper menstrual, keeping a good menstrual calendar and identifying the date, knowing the days of the cycle, like a 30-day cycle or 28-day cycle and minus 14 days, that will be the date of ovulation, or using an urinary LH kits. So these are a little more accurate. If one has to be very sure of the date of ovulation, the best method is to do a follicular monitoring. One can come for follicular monitoring. Starting one scan will be done on day 2 of the cycle to see that there is no cyst of that particular cycle, and then on day 9 or day 10, and then alternate days until day 14, day 15, where the date of ovulation can be easily tracked and can be told on which particular day the ovulation is expected to happen. So on that time when they keep contact, the chance of pregnancy is very high. So like this, there are various techniques where one can identify the time of ovulation and can plan for the pregnancy accurately. Thank you.